Picture this: you are aboard a United States Navy destroyer, cutting through the North Atlantic. Suddenly, the ship's alarm begins to blare. But it is not enemy missiles. It is not torpedoes. It is something far more terrifying to seasoned sailors. A wall of green water, 50 feet high, racing toward your vessel at highway speed. In a moment, I will reveal why experienced Navy crews would rather face a missile threat than encounter green water, and the shocking truth about what happened when they refused to take it seriously. Welcome to Naval Tide. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button, because today's story will change how you see the ocean forever. We are diving deep into one of the United States Navy's most feared phenomena, something that has sunk battleships, snapped aircraft carriers in half, and killed more sailors than many naval battles combined. And here is the kicker: most people have never even heard of it. So what exactly is green water? Why does it strike fear into the hearts of sailors who have served in combat zones? And what can a wall of water do to a ship made of solid steel that weighs thousands of tons? Stick around until the end, because I will show you what happens when green water strikes, and explain the one thing sailors do when they see it coming. First, let's clear something up. When sailors talk about green water, they're not talking about the color of the ocean in shallow areas. Green water is solid seawater, dense, heavy, and moving with devastating force, that crashes onto the deck of a ship. Unlike white water, which is foam and spray, green water is a massive, unbroken wall of ocean that hasn't broken into waves yet. Think about it this way: white water is like getting hit with a pillow. Green water? That's like getting hit by a truck. A single cubic meter of seawater weighs over 2,200 pounds. Now imagine tens of thousands of cubic meters slamming into your ship at once. That's green water. But here's what makes it truly terrifying. It doesn't just hit the ship and flow off. Green water has enough mass and momentum to rip radar arrays off the superstructure, crush steel like aluminum foil, sweep entire crews overboard in seconds, and flood compartments faster than damage control teams can respond. And unlike a missile which you can track and defend against, green water gives you maybe 30 seconds warning, sometimes less. So how did the US Navy learn to fear something that isn't even a weapon? Well, that story begins in World War II. December 1944, the United States Third Fleet, under Admiral William Bull Halsey, was operating in the Philippine Sea. More than 100 warships carrying thousands of sailors. Then Typhoon Cobra hit. What happened next became one of the darkest chapters in United States naval history, and it was not from enemy fire. 3 destroyers, the USS Hull, the USS Monaghan, and the USS Spence, encountered massive green water strikes. These were not small ships. These were combat vessels designed to hunt submarines and protect carriers. The green water came in waves over 70 feet high. When that much solid ocean hits a destroyer's bow, physics takes over. The ship's nose goes down. Water floods the deck. The weight shifts forward. All 3 ships capsized and sank. 790 sailors died. Not from torpedoes, not from kamikaze attacks, from the ocean itself. Survivors described walls of water that looked like moving mountains of dark green glass. Ships were tossed like toys. Men were swept overboard before they could even grab a lifeline. But the United States Navy learned something crucial from Typhoon Cobra. Green water does not just sink small ships. Fast forward to 1966. The USS Enterprise, at the time, the world's largest warship, a nuclear-powered supercarrier over 1,100 feet long, was conducting operations in the Pacific. Green water struck the flight deck with such force that it tore aircraft from their tie-downs and smashed them into each other. Jets weighing 30,000 pounds were tossed around like toys. The impact bent steel supports, shattered windows on the bridge 70 feet above the waterline, and sent thousands of gallons of seawater flooding into the hangar deck. The Enterprise survived, but the damage was catastrophic. Millions of dollars in aircraft destroyed, dozens of sailors injured, and a harsh reminder: Even America's most powerful warships aren't immune. One officer's report stated, "The force of the water impact exceeded our engineering calculations. The ship's structure was stressed beyond design specifications." So what makes green water so much more dangerous than missiles or other threats? The answer lies in the science. Here's something that'll blow your mind. A modern anti-ship missile like the Harpoon carries about 500 pounds of explosive. Sounds devastating, right? But a green water strike can deliver the equivalent force of hundreds of missiles, all at once. Let me break down the math for you. When a 40-foot wall of green water hits a ship's superstructure, you're looking at roughly 10,000 to 50,000 tons of water hitting the vessel. That's the weight of hundreds of battle tanks, moving at 30 to 40 miles per hour. The impact force can exceed 50 tons per square meter. Steel bulkheads designed to withstand explosions can crumple under that pressure. But there's something even more insidious about green water. It finds every weakness. Missiles are designed to hit one point and explode. Green water flows everywhere. Into vents, down hatches, through doors. It seeks out electrical systems, engine rooms, and ammunition storage. In 1975, the aircraft carrier USS Midway encountered green water during a North Pacific storm. The water punched through reinforced doors, flooded multiple decks, and shorted out critical systems. One sailor described it like this: "It was like the ocean was trying to come inside and take the ship back." And here's the really scary part. You can't shoot green water down. You can't jam it. You can't outrun it if you're already in the storm. So how do modern Navy ships deal with this threat? Today's U.S. Navy has learned hard lessons from green water incidents, and they've developed seriously advanced strategies to deal with it. First up, weather prediction technology. Modern destroyers and carriers have access to satellite data, advanced meteorology systems, and AI-powered storm prediction. They can see dangerous wave conditions forming days in advance. But sometimes, especially during combat operations or critical missions, avoiding the storm isn't an option. That's where ship design comes in. Modern U.S. Navy ships include breakwaters and wave deflectors, angled structures on the bow designed to split incoming waves and reduce the amount of solid water reaching the deck. Strengthened superstructures protect critical equipment placed higher up, with reinforced structures that can withstand massive water impact. Watertight integrity zones divide ships into compartments that can be sealed off instantly. If green water floods one area, it won't sink the entire vessel. Improved drainage systems include massive scuppers along the deck designed to shed thousands of gallons per second. But here's where it gets really interesting: training. U.S. Navy damage control teams train for green water scenarios constantly. Sailors learn to secure topside equipment at the first sign of rough seas, navigate and work in waist-deep water on rolling decks, and restore power and pumping systems while water's still flooding in. One Navy chief put it this way: "A missile you can see coming. You can defend against it. But green water? That's Mother Nature telling you that you're just a guest out here." With all this technology and training, do green water incidents still happen? Absolutely. 2018, the USS Fitzgerald encountered severe weather in the Philippine Sea. Crew members captured video of green water slamming over the bow, flooding the flight deck, and crashing into the superstructure. You can see solid walls of ocean, 20 feet high, sweeping across a ship that's 500 feet long. In the footage, you hear sailors shouting, alarms blaring, and the sound of tons of water hitting steel. 2020. During operations in the Arabian Sea, green water struck the USS Porter with such force that it damaged radar equipment and injured 3 sailors who were securing equipment on deck. Think about that. These sailors were in a potential combat zone where enemy missiles were a real threat. But it was the ocean that got them. And in 2024, the carrier strike group led by USS Gerald R. Ford encountered heavy seas in the North Atlantic during a NATO exercise. Multiple ships in the group reported green water incidents. Footage from the Ford shows waves breaking over the bow of the world's most advanced aircraft carrier. A ship that costs $13 billion and represents the peak of naval engineering. Mother Nature doesn't care about your budget. These aren't old incidents from the age of wooden ships. This is happening right now to the most advanced navy in the world. So here's the truth that every sailor learns. You can prepare for human enemies. You can outsmart them, outgun them, defend against them. But the ocean doesn't have tactics. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your technology or your training or your billion-dollar ship. Navy veterans all say variations of the same thing. A missile is scary, but it's quick. You see it coming, you react, it's over in seconds one way or another. But green water? You could be fighting that for hours. Pumping water, shoring up bulkheads, trying to keep your ship afloat while more waves keep hitting you. One sailor told me, "I served in the Persian Gulf during combat operations. I take missile alerts over heavy seas any day. At least with missiles, you can shoot back." Green water represents something primal. The reminder that humans are visitors in the ocean, and we're only out there because nature allows it. It's humbling, it's terrifying, and it's absolutely deadly. Since World War II, green water and severe sea conditions have damaged or sunk more U.S. Navy ships than enemy action in many conflicts. The ocean doesn't need missiles. It doesn't need torpedoes. When it wants to remind the most powerful navy in human history who's really in charge, it just sends a wall of green water. So there you have it, the terrifying truth about why U.S. sailors fear green water more than missiles. Now I want to hear from you. Did you know about green water before this video? Have you ever experienced severe weather at sea? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video fascinating, smash that like button and subscribe to Naval Tide for more incredible stories about the U.S. military, naval history, and the forces of nature that even our most advanced technology can't fully conquer. And here's a question for the comments section. Would you rather face a missile attack or a green water strike? Explain your choice below. Thanks for watching Naval Tide, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.